granted, I'm 38. I got no shame in my age. I'm 38. But I don't care who it is. The moment another grown adult, man or woman, shines a phone in my face and I'm on Instagram Live, I'm immediately going to ask you, how old are you again? And I'm just going to leave the scene. That's simple as that. How old are you again? Got it. Okay, you definitely over 21. Oh, you over 30? All right, I'm out, man. You out here bullshitting. Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Ryan, and this is another episode of Just My Opinion with Ryan. We are talking about the latest episode of Rap Shit. You see the pop-up, you already know what to do. Help your boy get to 1,000 subscribers. I would truly be thankful. And without further ado, let's get into the episode. My overall feelings of this episode, just a few things. One, this episode is definitely one of those that shows two people in a relationship clearly growing apart. In addition to that, there was just plenty of cringy, awkward moments just throughout the episode. At one point, I swear I felt embarrassed for just about everybody in this episode, at least our main characters. We start off with, we get a look at the Spotify, I guess, meeting room or whatnot, where we run into Jill, who is supposedly Shauna's friend who works at Spotify. If you remember, I want to say it was episode 2, Jill just made it clear that she could not put Shauna and Mia on in terms of, hooking them up with Spotify playlists. This is when the Seducing Scheme song first started to pick up. It got some buzz on Instagram. Granted, it didn't get played in the club yet, but it still had some buzz on Instagram. Apparently that wasn't enough for Jill to take a risk on her friend and putting her on with the whole Spotify playlist. So Jill plays some other random artists, which clearly one of the execs is just not feeling. Co-worker of Jill, on the other hand, came across that same exact Seducing Scheme song that Jill got put onto a few episodes back. The exec is feeling it. All of a sudden, Jill is trying to, steal the co-worker's shine by saying, oh, she knows Shauna personally, this and the third. I hate stuff like that just because it's, just that whole fake stuff. It's, on one hand, I understand you can't just hook up your friend just because you work at Spotify. But, you see, the analytics or however many likes they got. You see, like the song definitely caught a buzz of some sort. So that was your opportunity just to take it and see what it does. She's only putting Shauna on because it's going to help her career now that Shauna and Mia are creating their own buzz. No thanks to Jill. We also cut to where Shauna gives Cliff a call, trying to see what they up to, stuff like that. And then, of course, surprises Cliff by showing up at his door. And also, even before that, we see that the mystery man, who is one of Mia's, biggest OnlyFans followers, treated him on like a first class flight, had him get, dropped off in a limo to like the penthouse hotel. Like, Mia was getting the works out of homeboy, out of the John, I guess, as some people will call him. Pardon me. And so Mia is living life, living large, while on the other hand, Shauna went to go surprise her boyfriend. Things that started off great. We definitely see them immediately getting into the bedroom. I can't remember if it was, then like, I think when it came to round 2, Shauna wants to do a sex tape. So, which definitely, it seemed like it caught Cliff off guard. So this is apparently something new that Cliff isn't familiar with, isn't used to. And so I think even just from gestures like that, you could tell that there are two completely separate, I guess, mindsets or mannerisms going on. Of course, they did the whole, FaceTime sex, in the first episode, maybe second episode or whatever. But this was different. This is something that Clifford seems slightly uncomfortable with. But at the same token, you're in the middle of having sex, so of course, who would stop? Yeah, but I know, with things getting hacked and leaked and stuff like that, that sex tape business ain't for me. That's just on a personal note. But so you can just see stuff like that. Now the two people are kind of having like different, points of views and so forth. Anyway, that is another thing I like about this episode. You definitely see, the two different experiences in New York. So while she's having her sex tape experience, we have Mia still living it up. She even gave her sugar daddy a up close and personal, I guess, masturbation show in the back of a limo. Things got slightly hot and heavy. Mr. OnlyFans fan, the OnlyFans supporter, wanted to go up to the penthouse with her, where Mia politely declined. And so clearly the very next day, the mystery man, the sugar daddy, definitely saw the writing on the wall, and I guess cut her stay in that penthouse hotel short very quickly. She ends up getting kicked out and having to take the subway and having that real New York experience when no one is footing the bill. So that was definitely something that was funny to me. And even, and of course, I don't think the sugar daddy did anything wrong necessarily. It's like, and just make it clear, just because he wined and dined her, bought her the first class and all that, does not entitle him to sex. It does not. But at the same time, he saw that he was just getting played. Saw like some, writing on the wall that she wasn't going to give him any anyway. So I think that's what led him to cut that, penthouse suite visit short. So yeah, there you have it. Once Mia is kicked out, she has to try to reach out for Shauna, see if she can link up with Shauna and Cliff. It's to the point to where I think she's like almost at the apartment, and at the last minute, I guess she took too long. Mia now has to lug all of her belongings and luggage or whatever to this brunch spot instead of being able to just have it at Cliff's place. So when Mia finally meets Cliff, there's just an awkward energy. Matter of fact, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Even before that, another sign that you see that Shauna and Cliff are just on two different, trajectories at this point. It's like the majority of the time, Cliff and all of his, law school buddies, they're talking shop. They're talking about law firm this and which law firm is going to get, I guess, accepted to once they're done, this and the third. Stuff that's over, Shauna's head or over just about anyone's head if they're not studying law. And it was just made for like an awkward moment where she just kind of just has to sit there and pretend to half-heartedly know what's going on. We see Fatima come through, the woman that Shauna believes Cliff's had a crush on. That was kind of an awkward exchange. Fatima is trying to, do a nice gesture. I don't believe it was a backhanded compliment. Trying to compliment Shauna for finally getting like getting some buzz with one of her songs. But just that, it was still some awkwardness, some awkward energy there. And then by the time Mia gets there, the awkward energy just gets worse. Cliff is saying stuff like, "Hey man, we'll get kicked out if you share flutes, this and the third." Just awkward, so it's, once again, just two different levels. It's the best way I could put it. During this brunch, that awkward tension is kind of cut once they get like an invite to like one of to like a Spotify party, thanks to Jill. Of course, we know Jill is doing this because this is going to benefit her. And being that, it's not like they seen each other a lot, they're in a long distance relationship. They do invite Cliff to come along, and Cliff is annoyed majority of the night because instead of being, instead of being looked at as Shauna's boyfriend, it's almost like he's looked more like the cameraman for Shauna and Mia. I rarely see you, especially because we have this long distance relationship thing. You know what? I am more than happy to be your cameraman for the night, just because I want to see you happy. So I could see both sides. If I had to choose, I'm leaning more toward the latter. Like, I probably, just from me personally, I probably just would have willingly or happily been the cameraman, because this is a moment for my girlfriend to shine, So it's almost like one of those, you can make the argument, it's almost like maybe Cliff was even jealous a little bit, So even though I see both sides, I would have leaned more towards, being the cameraman with a good attitude, instead of just this annoyed boyfriend who just has to be the IG Live camera guy. But that type of energy is going on throughout the majority of the night. At one point, of course, Jill introduces the duo to a number of important people, including like music video people, some other execs within Spotify. They also get more good news that their song will be included on like 2 separate, curated playlists or whatever. So things are going good, but at that same time, Cliff is just stewing in the background, half-heartedly taking videos, sipping some drinks here and there. And once again, yet another awkward moment. They get invited to VIP because they got the wristbands. Cliff does not have a wristband, so he can't get into VIP. So instead, he goes downstairs and he drinks more, therefore making him, just even more of a drunk. Now, I do want to side with Clifford on this point. At some point, I guess Clifford must have texted him texted Shauna something about him being upset or annoyed. So she leaves VIP to go see him. And what do you know? She runs into Britt Fires. And then in the point that I feel like Cliff was in the right, it was like, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Brent Fires. I don't care if it's the president. I don't care. I just don't care who it is. Whenever you meet somebody, you got to, at least within the first 30, 40 seconds, at least introduce me as your boyfriend. It was like she got into the conversation with Brent Fires. And granted, this is all new for her, but it still shouldn't matter. I gotta give Clifford's be on Clifford's side for that. Yeah, you gotta introduce me. You just can't be carrying on a conversation. I'm just looking like this awkward extra body, next to you. So, nevertheless, their successful night of getting accepted in the Spotify party kind of had, was rained on by Clifford's attitude for the most part of the night. And other than the not being introduced quickly enough for my taste when she met Brent Fires, I was on Shauna's side, except for the introduction part. Now the big, I think the big red flag for the evening was Clifford getting so drunk that he's on Instagram Live, just making an ass out of himself. And I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. It's definitely been a pleasure to see Kid Fury, and he definitely had a number of funny lines in this episode, especially when when Clifford was on the Instagram Live. Shauna comes in and it's just a mess. I don't even want to use youth being, as an excuse. I mean, they're probably in their early 20s, mid 20s at the latest, at the oldest. You're still old enough. I don't care how drunk you are. You're still old enough to know better than to get on Instagram Live just to argue with your girl. Granted, I'm 38. I got no shame in my age. I'm 38, but I don't care who it is. The moment another grown adult, man or woman, shines a phone in my face and I'm on Instagram Live, I'm immediately going to ask you, how old are you again? And I'm just going to leave the scene. That's simple as that. How old are you again? Got it. Okay, you definitely over 21. Oh, you over 30? All right, I'm out, man. You out here bullshitting. And long story short, that's eventually what Shauna had to do. She had no choice but to leave because this guy is probably having one of the most cringe-worthy breakups on IG Live. Before you know it, Shauna and Mia are at the airport together, both not having the greatest experience, New York experience, even though, rap-wise or career-wise, it should have been a great weekend, or a great outing. But because of the Clifford drama, and just a background, because of the Clifford drama, because the sugar daddy cut Mia off, and also because Mia got in a fight with somebody at Spotify, all that type of shit took a damper on their weekend, man. Overall, I did like this episode. Granted, it's only 5 in this first season. This is probably my first. This is probably my favorite one so far, just because of all of the awkwardness and comedy all mixed in there. I can't wait to see what happens next. Apparently, it seems as if Mia is getting put on blast for beating up somebody's friend in terms of the whole social media thing. So we'll see how that goes. Hate it or love it, folks. These are just my opinions. Peace.